What's going on, guys? Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper, and I am Old Snapper. I'm chilling up here in Ozark, Arkansas, at a rest area, on a load headed out to South Carolina. As some of you may have known, there's been this guy up in Chicago, Trucker Ray, or Chicago Ray, I think is what he goes by, and he's wanting to do a protest to New York City over this whole um, Trump getting fined thing or whatever. I really hadn't, be honest, I haven't watched a whole lot of what happened to Trump up there. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I just know Trump got fined. He lost some kind of lawsuit or something in New York. I don't know the background behind it or anything like that. I try not to watch a lot of politics because our country is so corrupt and so crooked right now that it just infuriates me to watch politics because it's all over the place and it's blatantly obvious how corrupt our system is. Now, this trucker up in Chicago, or Chicago Ray, I'm assuming he's from Chicago, since he goes since he goes by that name. He's wanting to organize a protest for drivers not to deliver in New York City. I gotta say, personally, I already don't deliver in New York City, so it doesn't matter to me either way. I don't affect this protest at all, one way or another, because I don't deliver there as it is, period. And I kind of have some mixed feelings on this whole situation as it is. Truckers have tried to protest in recent years many times, and it never seems to work out. We have so many foreign drivers out here that don't care. They're going to haul that freight. They'll haul it for 2 cents and take it wherever it's going. Doesn't matter to them. But with that being said, even if only 10% of the drivers out here refuse to go to New York City, it would be an impact on New York City. It would slow the progress of them getting freight into their city, which would affect them over time. Wouldn't take long, a few weeks, and they would begin to notice it in the city. Also, company drivers are not going to have a choice. A lot of companies out here are forced dispatch, so they've got to haul it regardless. Doesn't matter. I don't know if any of the companies are going to participate in this. From what I've read, I haven't seen any comments from any companies saying one way or the other. But they're under contract. Your mega carriers are under contract. They're going to haul that freight there regardless. There's more owner operators out here than there are mega carriers. You can take all the mega carriers and put them together. Take all the owner operators and put them together. Owner operators outnumber the mega carriers in a group. Okay. When I say mega carriers, that's companies 1,000 trucks or more. They make up less than 5% of the fleet out here. I know there's a lot of people out there that will argue that, but you can literally get out of your truck in just about any truck stop and walk around and look and count them. Count how many mega carriers you see in there and how many owner operators you see in there. Owner operators will almost always outnumber your mega carriers. And by a lot, normally 5 or 6 to 1. There's a lot of times I get loaded at places and I'm the only company driver there. I got loaded just the other day picking up a backhaul up in Washington. And out of the 6 trucks that were there, I was the only one that was with a company. All the others were independents. So, if the owner operators banded together and refused to take loads into New York City, it would impact New York City drastically. New York City's still going to get some freight, but they're not going to get all that they need. So, that's something to consider. Maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't. I think the last time there was a successful protest in the United States probably would have been in the 70s over fuel, I believe it was. But it was a different day and age back then. Drivers were a lot closer back then. That was one reason it was successful. Another reason it was successful is because owner operators blocked the entrances and exits to the truck stop, and they wouldn't let the company drivers out. It got kind of wild. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the documentary, but there were gunshots, people shooting in the air. I mean, they were making a clear statement that no driver was to leave. And drivers, out of fear, were parking their trucks. They wouldn't run. And ultimately, truckers won that protest. They want it. Now, some people went to jail in the process, and some trucks got towed in the process. But in the end, truckers won. But I don't think people today have those cojones. I don't think the cojones are big enough today to do what truckers did in the 70s. Not only that, but in the 1970s, it was a majority Americans out here. We didn't have a lot of foreigners out here. These foreigners, like I said, they don't care. They don't care about our politics. They don't care about none of that. They'll haul that load for half a cent to New York City. If you don't want to haul it, they're going to take it. That's just the way it goes. So if you can't stop them, there ain't no point in even doing a protest. I do get a little bit frustrated when drivers threaten to protest and then it's not successful. Because every time it's not successful, that shows the country, the politicians, everybody, that we don't need to worry about truckers. They don't have a voice. They can't do nothing anyway. Right? Because it seems like about every 6 months we holler we're going to protest over something and we never do. And if we do, it's so small and minute that it doesn't affect anything. So nobody cares. It's like the boy that cried wolf, We keep crying wolf, but there's never a wolf. So I kind of wish drivers would quit doing that. Drivers keep threatening it and nothing happens, or it ain't that bad. Well, then every time it's said, it has a little bit less impact. Like right now, New York City is probably laughing. They don't really care. 10 truckers are going to park their trucks. That's what New York City's probably thinking. It's not going to affect us at all. Who cares? Because that's the way it's been in recent years. And whenever we protest, it doesn't really affect anybody. Do I think that Trump's situation is something that truckers should protest? Look, there's a lot of things in this country I think should be protested. I don't know Trump's situation because I didn't follow that case. But I will say that our government as a whole is very corrupt. There's a lot of things going on that are worthy of protest, whether it's Trump or not. I'm really kind of surprised it hadn't broke out in mass protest over some of the things that have happened in recent days. I know they just keep taking our tax dollars and sending them overseas. I really think they're funneling that money back into themselves, whether it's going into somehow that money is getting laundered through Ukraine and back into something else, because it seems like every week we're sending money to Ukraine. I don't know if any of y'all have noticed, but with our nation's debt at the current time, just the interest alone is $1 billion a day. I don't know if any of y'all are aware of this. That's not sustainable. So here at some point in the near future, our country's going to collapse. It has to. $1 billion a day is just the interest payment on our debt. So at some point in the near future, I'd say probably within the next 12 months, our country is going to completely collapse. It's got to. I don't know if you know what the Great Depression was like, but it's very possible that that's what we're headed for. You don't believe me? You can Google this stuff. Go look it up. It cost us $1 billion a day to pay the interest on our debt. Guess who holds the bulk of our debt? That's China. China holds the bulk of our debt. So we got a little bit of a benefit there because we're a consumer country and we buy a lot of goods from China. So it really wouldn't benefit China too much to collect on that debt, because if they did, we wouldn't be able to pay. And that would collapse us instantly. But so since there's kind of a they need us and we need them sort of thing going on, that's kind of protecting us. But China's not doing all that well economically either. And they really want Taiwan. So if push comes to shove, China may just say the heck with it. China is not opposed to making themselves suffer to get somebody else. I mean, we know that. They'll do that. They don't have a problem with that. So they may very well at some point, because they want Taiwan and we're the only ones that can protect Taiwan, they may say, hey, let's collect on that debt, crash themselves out, crash us out, then they can take Taiwan and we can't do nothing about it. So hey, it is what it is. I'm not a political expert, But you don't have to be in today's environment to see that there's some serious things coming. There's a lot of things out there worthy of protest. If the truckers are going to protest, I'm a trucker. I'll stand behind my brothers and sisters regardless. But we need to quit threatening it if it's not going to happen. If it's not going to happen, don't threaten it. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Let's keep trucking.